But yeah, that's about all I know about this visual novel, other than Amelie is apparently waiting for the arrival of her long-time pen pal Sophia. So, without further ado, like that we can read the main menu with our mouse, but anyway, we shall begin the visual novel. Realize your future. Okay, so we got different characters, but the other two don't light up, so we're going with Amelie first. Rain never seems to cease at this time of year. Falls from the sky in its unending grief, as if longing for something unseen. Thunder roared in the distance, enough so to make the young woman flinch, but not enough to make her waver. Pendulum clock on the wall swung back and forth, ticking down the time. She seems to be late. Perhaps she is not coming after all, Amelie. There is no need to make such a solemn face. Mayhaps this is for the best. She wrote that she would be here, so I shall wait. Young lady named Amelie sat upright on the lounge that rested by the entryway. Back was straight and her head was level. Do you truly believe it's safe to have visitors during the outbreak? Outbreak? Alika, I believe we have been isolated long enough. Sophia has written that it is safe. I trust her word. She would not endanger us. And your pen pal turns out to be a robber in disguise? What then? Emil smiled. She has a way with words that only a woman could have. A lady robber, then? Nonsense. By the way, Alika, have you seen my letters? I can't say that I have. Knock sounded at the door, instantly halting their conversation. Emil rose from her place and took a steady step forward before Alika raised a hand to her. Allow me. Door groaned as it slowly swung open, revealed the young woman who knocked at the door. She was drenched from head to toe. Emil stood stock still, unsure of what to say, but that only lasted a moment before the woman at the door bounded forward and wrapped her arms around her. Emil! Sophia! She blinked before finally allowing her arms to wrap around Sophia's back. And I love your jumper. Man, I would love to have that. It looks so nice and cozy. My, you're completely drenched. Did you forget your umbrella, perchance? Or perhaps her umbrella got carried away by the wind. Also just noticed Alika's hair. My god, that is a lot of hair. Must be an absolute nightmare to have to brush every morning. But it'd make a nice good mat out of it, though. Alika pushed the door shut, sealing the building. I didn't even think to bring an umbrella. Forko said sunny all day. My fault for believing it, I guess. I can't believe you're truly here. Me either. About time, right? But just as pretty as I knew you'd be. And you too. But what are you wearing? Seeing your house, I feel like I should have dressed up a little more. No, perhaps it is I who is overdressed. Alika stood to the side, her arms crossed lightly over her chest, long hair reached down nearly to the wooden floor. Pardon my manners, my dear friend Alika is here too. I believe I wrote about her in the past. I remember. I kept all your letters safe, don't worry. As you should. Sorry, is there any chance you have a towel? Of course, my apologies. I would usually have someone here to attend to us, but our room's been sent home. Only the three of us remain. Let me fetch you a towel. Amelie knew not to run, yet part of her felt the need to almost skip in joy. She wanted desperately to be back by Sophia's side, chatting about everything that they missed in their letters. Two had been pen pals for as long as she remembered. Sophia's letter had first been delivered to the manor by mistake, but for some reason Amelie had felt compelled to reply. Since then, the two have been the best of friends, even having not met face to face. Finally meet now in the flesh had certainly been a great excitement to Amelie. Just realizing I'm pronouncing it wrong as Amelie, not Amelie. She quickly retrieved the towel and made her way back to Sophia's side. Alika stood a distance away from her, still looking vaguely unhappy. He spun around, a look of surprise on her face when she saw Amelie. Sophia? Oh, Amelie. Please, use this. Thanks, I'll bring an umbrella next time, I promise. Sophia lightly toweled at her hair and clothes, drying off from the rain she had found herself caught in. Then, if you're dried off now, would you care for a tour of the house before afternoon tea? That sounds great. On your right is the pantry, and down that hall is the boiler room, but you shouldn't have any need for those spaces. Two walk side by side, with Alika trailing slightly behind. These are all the guest bedrooms. I prepared this one for your use. Find anything not to your standards, you can let myself or Alika know. I feel like your standards are much higher than mine. I've never even been in a house that looks like this. No? Is your home not similar? Well, it's a lot smaller. There's no shame in that. You own your own property, yes? Yeah, I recently bought it. With your husband? What? No, of course not. I'm not married. Your father allowed you to buy property on your own? Amelie, you speak just like how you write. I'm so surprised. And you speak quite casually. People usually say that about me. Being here around you makes me want to be more formal. What need is there formality between friends? That's true too. This is the morning room, and next door is the dining room. We'll be having afternoon tea in the sitting room here. So many rooms. Upstairs is my bedroom, and the master bedroom. Master asks that you do not enter the master bedroom, as it belongs to my parents, who are currently away. Of course, I won't go poking around anyway. All this walking has made me parched. Shall we take afternoon tea now? Sure, that sounds good. Why don't you have a seat while Alika and I prepare our food? Oh, I can come help. Nonsense, you're one of my guests. Well, you are my guest. It would be remiss of me to allow you to lift a finger. If you insist, but I'm happy to help anytime. Thank you. I will be back soon. Please rest. Amelie. Yes? It's nothing. Take your time. Sophia slipped through a doorway and disappeared. Amelie smiled gently, feeling giddy from the bottom of her stomach. Isn't this lovely, Lilika? To have a new face in the house? It feels like forever. Yes, how lovely. I'm glad you are having fun at the very least. Are you not? I'm always having fun when we're together, Emil. Somebody's getting jealous, I think. Ah, I see. Are you jealous? Worry not, my dear friend. Of course our friendship means just as much to me. I value you greatly. Just as much? Indeed. Come along, Lalika. Let's prepare tea. Did you finish the baking yesterday? Pastries are ready for serving. Excellent, I'll fetch the tea then. Allow me. A lady of your standing shouldn't be doing such a menial task, should she? Don't be absurd. Even Sophia herself seems to be fine in the kitchen. Did you hear how she jumped to help? I should follow in her footsteps. What would your parents think of that? I appreciate the sentiment, but they took with them all the staff. I have little choice but to prepare my own tea. I see. Then shall I attend to our guest? I wouldn't want her to become lonely. Would you? Oh, only be a few moments. Of course. Anything for you, Emile. Or Amelie. Be a good chance for you to become friends too. I'm sure it will be. Why do I have a bad feeling about this? Lalika left the kitchen with slow, deliberate steps. Amelie turned back to the kitchen. Wonder which she would prefer. Oolong tea or green tea? I have no idea what oolong tea is. Okay, I looked it up and apparently it is a traditional Chinese tea. So I think we might go with that one. I'll import this for Mother, but I'm sure she won't mind if I borrowed a little. Okay, might as well go with something a little more fancier, I guess. And a little bit different than green tea. There. We'll retrieve the finest teapot and 3 matching cups. Pink flowers bloomed over the white surface. Something about it reminded her of Sophia. Sophia isn't looking too good. Uh-oh. I'm back. Sophia? Oh, Amelie. Sorry, you scared me. Is everything alright? Yeah, I don't think so. What's Lalika been doing to our friend? Yes, I think I'm just a little tired. Good. I'm sorry for the delay, but I prepared the tea and the pastries. So, this is what high tea looks like. High tea will come later. This is just a simple afternoon tea. Will Lalika be joining us? So Lalika's not even here, so... I believe so. Was she here a moment ago? No, she wasn't here. Where did she go off to then? How strange. She told me she was coming to sit with you. Perhaps she's gotten herself busy with something else. Should we wait? There's no need. I would be sad to let the tea go cold. I'll pour the tea into the 2 cups slowly, copying the movement she'd seen Lalika do time and time again. Did you have much trouble getting here? A little. My ride broke down, so I had to walk for a bit. Broke down? I'm extremely sorry. If the staff had been here, I would have sent someone to collect you. It's okay, it's just a little rain. I just wouldn't want you catching a fever. My medicine store has been running low as of late. No worries, I usually carry ibuprofen with me. Ibuprofen? Haven't heard of it. Yeah. As I suspected, seems that Emile and the family are kind of like stuck in time, always. From like the old Victorian era, and then Sophia is over modern days. Makes you wonder why. Anyway, I'm glad you arrived here safely. I'll draw a bath for you later to make sure you're warmed up properly. Thank you. You'll sit down at tea before looking down at it with a confused expression. A little stale. I'll ask my father to produce a new batch when he arrives home. Where are your parents, by the way? Well, we were separated due to the plague. Took us after way until a cure is found. Let me hear what Lalika was to not catch the disease. Right, I understand. I spent a lot of time separated from my family due to the pandemic too. So this is during COVID times, maybe? Okay, yeah, I just checked the release date on this, and yeah, it was released in 2021, so in the height of the pandemic. Lost my heart to find another thing in common with you, Sophia. I'm surprised to hear that it's safe enough for you to visit. Perhaps that means my parents will be back soon too. I think so. All seems to be opening back up again. So, what did you do? Locked up in this big house all the time? Well, I usually spend my time sewing or playing music. I used to write, but well, my parents wondered if it was feminine enough. Don't really think that matters. If you enjoy it, then I say you should do it. Sophia. Then what about you? Well, I'm studying art at university right now, so I guess that's what I spend most of my time on. You attend university? Yeah, although I'm thinking about dropping out. Yeah, you truly are filled with surprises. You own your own land and you attend school. How jealous I am. Why don't you do the same? Oh, no, I'm not allowed. Of course you are. Anyone can attend within reason. But, well, won't it get in the way of my marriage? You're engaged? You shook her head. No, not yet, but I'm already 19. Sure, my father has prepared my dowry. An arranged marriage? Yes, naturally. I don't think I'll ever get married. Really? Doesn't your family object? I don't think they really mind, as long as I'm happy. You don't have to either, you know. Give me much more to think about. Much indeed. I wonder where Lalika has disappeared to. Well, it's no matter. Evening is already coming, and soon it will be dark. Shall I draw you a bath? That sounds wonderful. To be honest, I'm not hungry, so we can skip dinner tonight. Of course, if that's what you wish. Let me show you to the bathroom. You may not believe it, but my father had taps installed. Isn't that wonderful? Like taps for a bath? That's right. We used to have our maids fill the bath, but now there's no need. Amelie, you're so strange. Had taps in my house too. Truly? You must live quite a lavish lifestyle yourself. I don't know about that. This is the bathroom. Allow me to draw the bath for you. One moment. With haste, Emile entered the bathroom and began to fill the copper bath. Sat in the middle of a spacious bathroom. It was something Emile was particularly proud of. He smiled as it filled before rejoining her companion. Feel free to go inside and make yourself comfortable. I'll return with a towel in a moment. Thanks, Amelie. Let's get that. She disappeared into the room, leaving Amelie alone in the hall. I should light the sconces too. Where did I put those matches? Right here. Hi, Lalika. Can't be afraid, Lalika. Where have you been? Preparing the guest room for your dear friend, of course. How kind. Sophia's just preparing for a bath at the present. Going to retrieve a towel for her from the linen closet. Emily, I think it is best you send her home post-haste. What? Why would I do that? Well, you know, she brings the plague. It brings with her the plague. Sophia said it's now safe to travel. She believes father and mother will be returning soon. I believe it is perfectly safe. And what if she lies? She wouldn't do that. Sophia is a kind and good-natured person. She would not bring any danger to us. Did you know that Sophia attends a local university? She lives by herself, with no husband. She says that if I wanted, I could also study. The lady of the house should not study, Emile. You must stay inside the house and await your parents. But I'm sure mother would want the best for me. That's while I await her. I could go to inspect Sophia's school. Amelie, you must stay inside and await your parents' return. But don't you trust me? Have I ever tried to lead you astray? No, Lilika. I was just thinking that perhaps it truly is beginning to be safe. Look, I brought today's newspaper. Do you see the title? The plague runs rampant. Without any notion of leaving or studying away for now, yes? Says it is truly safe to do so, then we shall, and you will be reunited with your family. For now, it's just you and me. Thanks, Lilika. I'm glad you're here. As am I. Ah, the towel. Let me go retrieve it. Go ahead. The cupboard was filled with various towels and bedding, all clean and properly folded thanks to Lilika. Which would suit her, pink or blue towel? Let's pick the pink towel. This one reminds me of her eyes, and her clothes as well. With a chosen towel in hand, Amelie returned to the bathroom door, where Lilika waited her. She first knocked at the door, and when there was no reply, she opened it carefully. And a tap running still came from inside. Excuse me, I'm coming in. Hopefully Sophia isn't, drowning or anything. Sophia, I knocked, but I didn't hear a reply. I brought you a towel. Ah. You saw a slender, marble-like back. Then she noticed the blue hair that fell on the bare shoulders, one side tucked carefully behind an ear. Oh, Sophia, please forgive me. Didn't realize you had already entered the bath. No, it's okay. I'm sorry. You just surprised me. I'll leave the towel over here. Thanks. Did you tell her that she must depart? No, Is something the matter? Are you feeling unwell? Your face is bright red. Sophia will stay until she decides to leave. As you wish. Sorry, Lilika, but much of that small and beautiful back filled up Amelie's mind. I believe it is only fair, after she travelled so far, and she is my friend. I will finish repairing the guest room. Let me come help, Sophia, when you're done in there, you can come to your room. On the other side of the door, Sophia's voice came in return. Okay, thanks, Amelie. Guest bedroom was freshly cleaned with new linen on the bed and lit lantern beside it. Did a fine job of preparing the room so far. Thank you, Lalika. Anything for you? I was thinking, tomorrow, if the rain has cleared up, we could open the greenhouse again, and have morning tea there. It's been so long since we last used it. Didn't we already speak of this? You cannot leave the house. But surely the greenhouse would be safe. No one else uses it, and it is only a few steps from the back door. It is unsafe, you know this. What's gone into you? Is it because of your friend? I just thought it'd be nice to at least sit in the sun. Then you may sit by the window in the dining hall. Is it really so unsafe that even taking a foot outdoors would be dangerous? Yes. Sophia, I see you're done with the bath. Amelie shook her head, trying to remove the image that was still plastered to it. Were you talking about the greenhouse? Yes, did you want to see it? Or did you see it when you arrived? I did, but it looked as if the plants inside had died. Oh, that's impossible. Barely been any time at all since the gardeners left. Sure, the plants inside are more sturdy than that. How long has it actually been since anybody's been inside the house? Well, besides me and Lalika. I'm wondering. Maybe Amelie here has been in this house alone for quite some time. And Lalika here is... Yeah, there's a reason she doesn't want us to leave the house. It's not because of, the plague. Probably doesn't want her finding out the truth about what's actually going on. That none of these people are actually going to return. Oh, even if they died, maybe we could go in and replant some things tomorrow? How wonderful. Have you not heard a word I said? It's unsafe to do so. Yeah, unsafe for our mental state. Oh, don't be such a spoilsport. I think it would be perfectly fine. Well, it's getting late now, so I'll leave you to retire. You need anything? My room is just upstairs, on the left. Good night, Sophia. Lika left first. Door, which was still hanging slightly open, shifted as she went. Emile, would you stay for a while? Is something the matter? Just a little homesick. Sophia sunk into the bed, sighing as her head hit the pillow. Of course, why don't we chat for a while? Then come join me. Sophia gently pet the spot beside her in the bed. In the bed? Okay. Bed was still rather firm, unused by many guests. Mil took a deep breath to calm her racing heart before she finally looked towards Sophia. Thanks for staying with me for a while. There's nothing to worry about. Truly, I wanted to spend more time with you too. Really? You don't find me boring? You're the most interesting person I've ever met. Don't be silly. I'm being completely honest. You truly are unique. I think the same about you. I've never met anyone like you, really. You wrote so much about yourself, and yet seeing you in person, I feel there is still so much I don't know. There's plenty of time for us to tell each other everything. And tell me something about yourself, something you've never told anyone. I'm partially blind in my right eye. Really? How well can you see? It's okay, just a little blurry, really. You tell me something. Well, when I was 12, I stole the cookie jar from the kitchen and blamed my brother. He was scolded for hours. What a mischievous child. Sure, my brother wasn't all too pleased. Actually, it was his idea. He knew I wanted it. Told me to tell my parents it was him if I was asked. What a good brother. Where is he now? Did he go away with your parents? Amelie shook her head. He died when he was 16. Man, what a bummer. Oh, I'm so sorry, Amelie. What happened? Scarlet fever. My family was left with only me as an heir. I don't trust that. I don't get the feeling that maybe he left on his own accord, and because he found out that the family had been lying about the outside world and whatnot, and left, and parents just covered the situation, just said he died. And what worth is a female heir? We're plenty. More than plenty. Thank you, Sophia, but some days I am unsure. It's your turn again. Truthfully, I said before I didn't want to get married, but that's not exactly right. I do. Oh? I just don't want a husband. Then... I'm sorry, does it make you uncomfortable? No. I have also thought that I don't want a husband. Whenever my father has brought it up, I felt sick to my stomach. How about coming away with me for a while? Away? Outside of the house? What about the sickness? It's okay now. You'll be okay. You could come stay at my house. I could show you around my school. Don't have to go through an arranged marriage if you don't want to. You would do that for me? You're my dearest friend, and I actually... Of course we get interrupted. Lika? At some point, the two women had gotten close enough together that they could feel each other's breath on their lips. Two parted with red cheeks, Amelie quickly brushing her skirt off and standing up. I should be going to bed. Please rest well. We can talk more about it in the morning, right? Right. Good night, Amelie. I'll see you tomorrow. Lika? It is late. You should retire to your bedroom. Yes, I shall. It's nice having someone else around, isn't it? It feels as if the manor is coming back to life. I hope we see Mother and Father soon. I'm sure we will. Shall I see you to bed? Yes, please. Hallway was darkened with only a few sconces and candles lit along the way. Usually that would fill Amelie with a sense of comfort, but right now, the flickering flames seemed to make her feel distressed. Whether that was because of the way her mind was racing or the way her heart was beating, she didn't know. As she rose up the grand staircase, eyes lingered on the line-stained glass window. Moon shone through the coloured glass, leaving rainbow colours over the steps. It caught her attention for only a moment before she retreated to her bedroom. Lika, may I ask you a question? Certainly. Have you ever heard of a woman loving another woman, as a woman would love a man? Where did you hear about such a thing? No one in particular. It was just a thought that came into my mind. I think you're overtired because of all the excitement, Amelie. I think it's best you get some rest. Yes, alright. Good night, Lilica. Good night, Amelie. Good morning, Lilica. Just on my way to see if Sophia is awakened yet. Amelie? Sophia disappeared during the night, I believe. She went to the same place your parents went. What? That cannot be right. Don't run, Amelie. Amelie dashed down the hall and knocked quietly on the door to the guest bedroom. Fell open with no resistance. Inside, the bedding was disheveled and the luggage was strewn about. This is not true. She wouldn't just leave without saying goodbye. Dearie me, I'm sorry. I told you it was a bad idea for anyone to visit, didn't I? Oh, Lilica, this isn't fair. I thought she said we would... There, come here. Get the feeling Lilica had something to do with this. Because Sophia seemed to be spooked earlier, so... Lilica wrapped her thin arms around the young woman, gently patting her on the back. See, you shouldn't depend on anyone else. I'm here. Won't ever leave you. Amelie clutched at her back, tears already falling from her eyes. We'll be together forever. Sighed Amelie, together forever. Yeah, that's Amelie complete. But on to Sophia now. We'll get to see her side of the story. Rain never seems to cease at this time of year. Pours from the sky in its unending grief, as if longing for something unseen. Thunder roared in the distance, enough so to make the young woman flinch, but not enough to make her waver. Taxi gently rocked as the road turned to rubble. The rubble turned to overgrown dirt track. Outside the window, Sophia could barely see a few feet away through the raging storm. Made her feel uneasy. In a lap, a letter. She read the words again, despite knowing them off by heart. Dear Sophia, I'm glad I am to hear that you're well. I'm healthy, although I believe I may have a problem of the heart. I've gotten quite lonely waiting here for my parents' return. I am thankful to have Lilica residing with me, but I still await the day where my family will be reunited. But you say that it's safe enough for you to visit, truly? I have never even dared to dream of being able to see you in the flesh. If it is true, then I will await you at the address written on the back of this letter. Yours, Amelie. You sure this is the address, right? In the middle of nowhere. Here started at the fragile handwritten address that Amelie had left her, entrusted to her. Yes, this is the right way, I'm sure of it. Heart wouldn't settle. I mean, what could be a stranger in the middle of nowhere on a day like this? Who wouldn't be nervous? Yet there was something else, eagerness, a thrill, something beyond mere nerves that turned into excitement. She could barely imagine the hand that had penned the letters she had been receiving for years on end, let alone a face. But for some reason her heart still beat hard when reading the words that the mysterious young lady of 19, from a manor far out in the middle of nowhere, wrote to her. Desperate to calm her jitters, she pulled out her phone, looking to send her worried family one last message of reassurance, only to find that it wouldn't switch on. Her shot was fully charged. Rain was falling even more heavily now. In the distance, a building sprang into view, surrounded by a tall metal fence with an ornate gate firmly shut at the front. Just then, taxi sputtered and rolled to a stop, smoke rising from the hood. Okay, so something supernatural is happening here too. What the? Had this serviced a week ago. Is something wrong? Sorry, miss. Looks like we're out of action. It's okay. I think we're nearly there anyway. Pulling the cash from her wallet, she handed over her fare and stepped out of the car. Rain bucketed down from above, soaking her to the very core. She shivered as she dashed towards the iron gate. Surprisingly, it pushed open with little effort, and not even a creak. Sophia stopped in front of the large wooden door, finally free from the seemingly never-ending downpour. From afar, that door seemed inviting enough, but now it looked awfully large and imposing. Yet she raised her fist and knocked anyway. Silence followed. Is this not the right place after all? Door swung open, this time with a low, menacing groan. On the side of that doorway was a fair girl with long brown hair and golden eyes. Sophia, forgetting the fact that she was soaking wet, rushed forward and embraced the girl. Amelie! Sophia! Amelie's gentle arms wrapped around Sophia's back in return. Finally, all of Sophia's worries melted away. My, you're completely drenched. Did you forget your umbrella, perchance? Or perhaps her umbrella got carried away by the wind? Behind Sophia, the door swung shut without any assistance. I didn't even think about bringing an umbrella. The forecast said sunny all day. My thoughtful belief in it, I guess. I can't believe you're truly here. Me either. About time, right? But just as pretty as I knew you'd be. And you too. But what are you wearing? Seeing your house, I feel like I should have dressed up a little more. No, perhaps it is I that is overdressed. Fia smiled. Somehow, her dress sense seemed to fit her riding style perfectly. Old-fashioned, yet very neat and respectable. Why isn't she bringing up anything about Lalika? And why is her sprite not here? Fia felt a slight heat rising to her cheeks. It really was so refined and elegant. Pardon my manners. My dear friend Lalika is here too. I believe I wrote about her in the past. I remember. I kept all your letters safe, don't worry. As you should. Sorry, but is there any chance you have a towel? Of course, my apologies. I'd usually have someone here to attend to us, but everyone's been sent home. Only the three of us remain. Let me fetch you a towel. Mel withdrew from the hug. She was a little taller than Sophia, despite both being the same age. Fia peered up at her from below before she disappeared down a hallway into another room. So Lalika isn't real, potentially. Really is a manor. She told me about a house, I almost didn't believe it. A layer of dust rested against the tabletop, along with a few other items. On a settee, a newspaper sat open. Oh, do we look at the tabletop or the newspaper? I'm interested. Look at the newspaper. Satay was deep and green. Looked almost unused despite its apparent age. On it rested a newspaper, open in a few pages. Sophia turned her head to read the headline, but Far could only read the word plague. Reached across to pick up the newspaper. Behind Sophia, the window began to shake in the wind as her fingertips grazed the surface. It's so windy. Spun around just in time to see the front door fly open, and howling wind filled the entryway. Scrambled to the door with a great effort, shut it again. Phew. Amelie? She spun around. The newspaper and the items on the table were all gone. Interesting. Sophia? Oh, Amelie. Please, use this. Thanks. I'll bring an umbrella next time. I promise. Sophia looks at the towel in her hand. It was soft but somewhat old. She lightly dried her hair and clothes, but still found herself cold. Then, if you're now dried off, would you care for a tour of the house before afternoon tea? That sounds great. And right is the pantry, and down the hall is the boiler room, but you shouldn't have any need for those spaces. Two walk side by side in such a big manner. Yeah, we already read through all this. From the landing below, Sophia could see the door to the master bedroom. For some reason her eyes were glued to it. Come inside. Come open the door. We're waiting for you. Weird. What is hiding in the master bedroom? Oh, you definitely piqued my interest now. Even though I wasn't really interested in the master bedroom before. Of course, I won't go poking around anyway. She shook her head and time seemed to resume around her. And then, yeah, we already read through all this as well. Defy your fate. Interesting. It's an option that I can click. Okay, sure, let's defy our fate, whatever that may be. And thing is, continuing as always. Oh, yes. Nothing, take your time. Actually, is it okay if I ask you something? Of course it is. Is there someone else in the house with us? There's no one else apart from myself, you and Lilika. And Lilika is... She's just gone into the kitchen. Didn't you see her enter? Right, my vision must be playing up. Is something the matter? No, it's fine. I'll wait for you inside. The room was spacious and dead silent apart from Sophia's footsteps as she crossed the wooden floor. Each step was deliberate and slow as her eyes searched through the room. Nothing in particular stood out. Large windows showed a glimpse of the outside world through thick curtains. Rain was still coming down hard, obscuring her view. Windows shook every now and then, but the wind had seemed to die down a little. Under a chair at the dining table had been pulled out, as if it were waiting for her to sit down. Okay, just a little bit creepy. Amelie? Was that you? Amelie? Her hand rested against her chest, begging her heart to calm. Or... Lilika? Whether a hollow laugh sounded through the room or not, she wasn't sure. She quietly sat down in the seat that was left for her. The table was already set, but once again she noticed a thin layer of dust on the surface. Yeah, as if it hasn't been used in a while. Through the silence, Sophia could hear it again. Footsteps. But this time from directly above. The master bedroom. Uh-oh. Well, I don't like this imagery particularly well. When her eyes, Sophia watched the scene unfold. A woman older than 40 moved her shoes and stepped onto the table. Yet nothing was disturbed. Reached up and took a hold of the noose. Rope wrapped around her neck like the finest pearl necklace. Join me. One's eyes locked onto Sophia's. Hand was outstretched, waiting to be taken. Rusty smell filled her nose, scented with the faint smell of perfume. Sophia shivered in response, breath frosty on her lips. She reached for her hand slowly. I'm back. Oh, we get to defy our fate again. So, yeah, it seems... I guess we're changing what happened. Because, yeah... Sophia says something a little bit different than we did than she did when we were doing Amelie's route. I mean, I guess that's what we're meaning by defying our fate. Sophia stared at a spot the woman was only a moment ago, but she and the noose had disappeared. Yeah, this house is very much haunted and or cursed. Amelie, something is the matter, isn't it? Did something happen within this room? Happen? What do you mean? What exactly do you mean? Did a woman with brown hair tied into a bun, dark green eyes ever live here? Well, it sounds to me like you're describing my mother. Your mother? Yes, she's just as you described, but couldn't have seen her. She's still away. Yeah, still away in the master bedroom, probably after, offing herself. Right. Let me pour us tea before it gets cold. Will Lika be joining us? I believe so. She was here a moment ago. No, she wasn't here. Okay, yeah, and then the conversation is pretty much the same here. Sophia watched as the tea filled 2 out of 3 cups. Her cup sat empty. For some reason, the very sight filled her with dread. Picked up the cup and brought it to her lips. It was oolong tea. Interesting. So it remembers what choice I made for it, because I did actually select that one. Taste was bitter and musty. With a heart on edge, she placed the cup back down on the saucer, smiling towards Amelie. Did you have much trouble getting here? Okay, yeah, and then same conversation. Amelie sipped at her tea before looking down at it with a confused expression. A little stale. Asked my father to produce a new batch when he arrives home, which he's definitely not doing anytime soon. Okay, this is different. Before you left the room, Sophia took one last look back at where the noose once hung. Yeah, we're gonna see a lot more creepy stuff. You may not believe it, but my father had a conversation about the taps and the bath. Alone in the hallway, Sophia peered back up the grand staircase, past a large stained glass window and at a dark door shut tight. A moment later, Amelie popped back out of the bathroom. Feel free to go inside and make yourself comfortable. I'll return with a towel in a moment. Thanks, Amelie. Water spewed from the rusted pipes into the steel-lined wooden bathtub. Everything else was silent. Sophia took careful steps towards and peered into the bath. All seemed normal. Besides, she finally let her shoulders relax. Yet, in her mind, all she could see was that woman, with her outstretched hand reaching towards her. She clutched her hand to her chest, still shook. Sophia stumbled forward until her hands rested on either side of the washroom basin. Fingers held on tight until her knuckles were bone white. It's okay, Sophia. Just tired. Eyes traveled up to the mirror. It was embellished with a gold frame. She stared at her reflection. She was still herself, still a figment of her imagination. That's when she saw it. In the mirror, standing behind her, was a young woman with long blonde hair, nearly reached down to the floor, and deep blood-red eyes. She didn't try to speak or make any movement. She just stared with her big, dark eyes. Who? Don't worry, it's just Lilika. She can be a little bit creepy, but she's mostly harmless. She wanted to spin around, to confront the girl, but her whole body was frozen stiff. The young woman finally started to move. One step at a time, maintaining eye contact through the mirror, she crept closer and closer until Sophia swore she could feel her breath on the back of her neck. Mouth seemed to be moving, but no words escaped her lips. Who are you? She spun around, but no one was there. Water flowed from the tub, spilling out over the floor. He rushed forward to turn on the tap and noticed it. Water that came from the tap was red. Dark, deep red. She hurriedly turned the tap off for what felt like forever, and finally it stopped. Sophia stared at the dark liquid inside the tub. Without thought, her hand dipped in. She withdrew it. Each finger was dyed red. Something about it captivated Sophia. She undressed one layer at a time, peeling away the damp clothing and stepping forward and into the bathtub. Sank down and down until everything under her shoulders was submerged in the liquid. Felt heavier than water, much heavier. She stared directly ahead, her blood-red eyes reflected in her mind. Why not just end it here? You're scared, aren't you? Just sink down. Accept your fate. Accept it? Could no longer hear the sound of the door opening as her face sunk down into the liquid, her eyes shut. Sophia, I knocked, but I didn't hear you play. I bought you a towel. His eyes sprung open. Water was clear and the tap was still running, causing it to overflow onto the floor once again. Sophia drew her knees to her chest, still facing away from Amelie's voice. He rose to her cheeks. Being seen like this by her. Oh, so already read this conversation. Door shut again. Sophia finally turned back to look at where Amelie once stood. No one was there anymore. Not Amelie, no woman in long green dress, or a young lady with blonde hair. She sighed. What's going on? Sank into the water, although this time fully conscious of what she was doing. Not feeling all that much better, she stepped down and took hold of the towel that Amelie had left her. Water fell from her body as she stared at the cloth. The towel was pink, similar to her favorite hoodie. Again, I seem to remember my choice. Yeah, that's exactly why I chose the pink towel. The towel was old and full of holes. Seemed to be burn marks. Reluctantly, she wrapped it around her body. Outside the door, Amelie's voice called out to her. Let me come help. Sophia, when you're done in there, you can come into your room. Okay, thanks, Amelie. Who is she helping? The leaker? She shivered. The room had become awfully cold. The towel did little to bring her warmth. Picked up her discarded clothes and redressed. Clothes felt foreign and wrong to her. Sophia took a deep breath and swallowed hard. I'm okay. All was already darkened, with no light spilling in from the windows. A few sconces attached to the walls were lit with live flames, but it offered little in the way of calming her. Step, step, step. Floor creaked under her weight. She stopped outside of her bedroom. Inside she could hear talking. Put her ear to the door. Didn't we speak of this? You cannot leave the house. But surely the greenhouse would be safe. No one else uses it. There's only a few steps from the back door. Interesting. Sophia opened the door and entered the room. Emily stood by herself, making the bed. Sophia, is you done with the bath? Sophia looked away, thinking what had happened in that bathroom. Were you talking about the greenhouse? Yes. Did you see it when you arrived? And then, yeah, the plants had all died. The door shifted before Amelie could even reach to touch it. Sophia's eyes locked in on the movement. Amelie, would you stay for a while? Is something the matter? Okay, yeah, and then we just do our thing. Sophia, yeah. Sophia gently pet the spot beside her in the bed. Sophia looked towards Amelie in the low light. Right now she seemed hauntingly beautiful, yet she was nothing more than a ghost. Thanks for staying with me for a while. It's nothing to worry about, truly. I want to spend more time with you too. Yeah, and then we already had this conversation as well. Mind flashed back to all she had seen. Really, she truly had never met anyone like Amelie. Tell me something, she thought. Tell me what's going on here. Tell me I'm not insane. But yeah, the only one who's a little insane here is Amelie. And whatever the hell is haunting this place. And we got some knocking on the door. Oh, we can defy our fate again. At some point the two women had gotten close enough together that they could feel each other's breath on their lips. Two parted with reddened cheeks, Amelie quickly brushing her skirt and standing up. Yeah, I should be going to bed. Right, good night, Amelie. Amelie, just wait a moment. Okay, this is different. Yes? What does the leaker look like? What a funny question. You've seen it plenty of times already. I sometimes struggle a little. Right, my apologies. She has long blonde hair, done up like this. Emily pretends to put her hair in two long ponytails. What color are her eyes? Red, and she wears a dress all white and black, with a red ribbon the same color as her eyes. Thank you, Emily. Good night. See you in the morning. Emily left the room. Meanwhile, Sophia's eyes studied the space. Accept or defy your fate. Well, seeing as we've been defying our fate up until now, let's defy our fate one last time. Are you here, Lilika? Silence followed. I'll stay here while I live to see tomorrow. More silence. She gulped. The flame by the side of her bed flickered wildly. Fear lay back, shutting her eyes, but she felt as if someone was watching her. Waiting. Waiting and biding their time. Cold tendrils wrapped around her throat like a snake, cool like ice and getting tighter and tighter. She couldn't breathe. She couldn't even move. She opened her eyes, but no one was there. So Sophia wasted no more time, jumped to her feet and quickly shoved them back into her shoes and headed for the door. Opened without resistance. Outside the room, the hallway was dark, lit only by a handful of candles and sconces. Sophia swallowed, then stepped out. House was silent. Sophia took careful steps, but the floorboards still squeaked loudly beneath her. During the day she hadn't even noticed it, but now, wrapped in darkness, it seemed as if those small sounds would wake whatever was sleeping inside the house. Amelie? Lilika? She whispered, but heard no response. Upon being met with only more silence, footsteps sped up. Far in the distance, she heard something shift. A slight sound, one that wouldn't normally be noticed. But for Sophia, it was enough to make her heart race. She sped to the end of the hall and stood at the bottom of the grand staircase. Above, her eyes honed in on two doors in particular. The master bedroom and the door to Amelie's room. Amelie. Choice was obvious. Sophia raced up the stairs and stood in front of the door to her pen pal's room. But as she went to knock, the door fell open. Amelie, are you in here? She received no reply. Sophia's head spun around. From somewhere deep in the dark, a gentle tune was being played skillfully. Oh great, we got creepy music box music. Alice dropped to her side. Sound consumed her. Sophia drifted back out of Emily's bedroom, chasing that dreamy song. Step, step, step. Through the darkness, all that mattered was that sound. Came to the end of the hallway. A single door stood in her way. The bookcase was pushed to the side. At a second thought, she pulled it open. In the center of that room, surrounded by candles, Amelie sat. Her skirt fanned out around her. Spread out over the floor were piles of letters. Upon closer inspection, each was filled with words that had been crossed out, signed with yours, Marion. Emily, are you awake? Eyes were shut tight, her hands moved enough to play the sorrowful tune. Please, listen to me, Amelie. Lika she isn't... I'm not what? I don't like that your body is all warpy. Going to leave her, aren't you? He heard the door shut behind her. Backed up quickly and tried the handle, but it was stuck. Amelie's eyes finally opened. In place of her usual golden eyes was a glare of deep red. Amelie, snap out of it. Please, snap out of it. I want to take her away. Amelie, please. One by one, the candles blew out, and the two were plunged into darkness. Amelie's body slumped forward and crashed to the ground. Hi, Lilika. It's nice to meet you, Sophia. I'm sure we're going to have a fun time living together. Since you'll be staying with us after all, right? Good achievement, yeah, stay with us. Okay, that was kinda creepy. Yeah, I need to go, yeah. So, to get to Alika's one, I have to, do Sophia's other ending, which, I want to load. Because, we should, accept our fate this time and see what happens. For some reason, Sophia just couldn't sit still. Tried to lay down to rest, but turned this way and that, uneasy. I'll get some water. Hallway was dark, most of the sconces having been blown out already. Sophia stepped carefully through the space, conscious of the sound her footsteps created. Kitchen was by the stairwell. Hand-painted portraits were lined up in rows on either side of the hall. He stared up at the grand staircase. Each step was inviting, enticing her to make the ascent. Her large eyes stared once again at the imposing stained glass window, then to the door that waited upstairs. Hand rested against the kitchen door, fingers dancing over the handle. Stayed there as her mind debated with itself. Waiting. Come here. Come visit us. Hand dropped to her side as she ascended, past the glass window into the next floor. 2 doors awaited her. A chill ran through the air as the scene played out before her. 2 women dragged a man's body up the staircase, leaving a trail of blood in the otherwise pristine carpet. Pushed open one of the doors. The man's head hit the final step. He made no move to stop them, nor cried out in pain. He was already long dead. Figures disappeared into the room. Sophia blinked and the door was shut again. She trembled. The master bedroom. Behind that closed door, a voice called out to her, but the words were much too faint to make out. Hand rested against the handle. Sophia couldn't stop it from shaking. With a careful motion, she pushed the door open. Musty smell came from further inside the dark room. Sophia, peering into the darkness, quickly took hold of one of the lit candles near the room and stepped inside. Okay, nothing out of the ordinary just yet. Portrait sat above a large canopied bed. Curtains were pulled back, hiding whatever was inside. Portrait, Amelie sat beside a woman with a green dress and brown hair, done up in a bun. Standing behind them was a man with an imposing brow and a large beard. Family and mice ran from under the bed and out of the room. Fear jumped to the side, narrowly avoiding them. Step, step, step. Each step brought her closer to that bed. Each step made her chest feel heavier, tighter. She stood before the bed and reached a trembling hand to the curtains that hid whatever lay inside. A wind blew from somewhere unseen, and a candle extinguished. Behind her, the door shut, and the room plunged into near complete darkness. Amelie, is that you? I'm sorry I came in here after you asked me not to. I'll just go now, okay? Her body fell forward before she had a moment to react. She tumbled through the curtains and landed on something hard that rested in the bed. What? Curtains flew open and the moon shone in from outside. The body she was expecting to find was absent. In its place, 2 skeletons long ago decayed. They lay side by side, one smaller and the other larger. But now, one was either side of her. A scream pierces through the air, but no one came running. He tried desperately to squirm, to run, but it felt as if something was sitting on her, holding her down. As she struggled, she saw it. Two dark red eyes hanging above her, watching. You won't take her away from me. Now she'll become a skeleton, just like the parents. And she is mine. Yeah, now we can go into Lilika. His name is very shaky, and she's got 3 endings to her. Rain never seems to cease at this time of year. Falls from the sky in an unending grief, as if longing for something unseen. Thunder roared in the distance, not so to make the young woman flinch, but not enough to make her waver. She sat beside a man with an imposing brow and a large beard. The man wheezed and coughed, but kept hold of a newspaper in his hands. The front page read the following. Great Plague of London, 7,000 deceased, and frowned at the words. How utterly preposterous. What on earth are the physicians doing? Lay next to him coughed into her handkerchief. When she pulled it away from her mouth, it was stained red with blood. I'm sure they are trying their best, my dear. Their best is going to kill everyone. Forget this rubbish. Emily is still well, and finally of age to marry. We will arrange for a suitor before she becomes sick. If we send her out there, then she will certainly grow sick. She should stay here, locked in her room until it is safe to leave. No man will want a woman who has spent her only good years locked in her bedroom. But she'll be safe. Lady held her cheek, which quickly reddened after the impact. Luke glared at her beyond his bushy eyebrows. You would do well to remember who she belongs to. Who you belong to. Lady blinked, trying desperately to stop her eyes from welling up. Lilika, please, come here. Oh, Lilika was real at some point? Voice carried through the otherwise empty house. Time seemed to pause for a few moments, before a woman with blonde hair, cascading behind her, entered the room. She wore the dress of a maidservant, a natural expression that wavered just so after seeing the mark left by the Lord's hand. She stepped forward, across the tiled floor, with slow steps that seemed to match the pace of the thunder that roared outside. Lady nodded to the maid. Maid nodded back to the lady. Mirror reflected from the metal object in the maid's hand as she swung it down into the Lord's throat. Then a gargled scream. Blood spluttered out from his mouth. He tried to speak, tried to yell, but it was too late. So this is what happened. Okay, so yeah, they actually murdered him. And yeah, well, I thought it would have been Amelie helping her mother. It was actually, in fact, Lilika that was helping the mother drag the body upstairs. At least that's what Sophia saw. Fell forward onto the floor, the tiles darkened into a crimson red. Squirmed and crawled, searching for something that no one would ever know, before he fell still only a few minutes later. Lady stared at the scene. Heart raced and a laugh escaped her lips. Finally. Never heard of Amelie. Hope you rot in hell. Maid wiped her knife against a small white handtail. Stains would never be fully removed. My lady, I will deal with the body. I will help you. It's too much for you to carry alone. But, my lady, you are sick. And and I'll get no better sitting here. Two grudged an arm each dragged him towards the stairwell, leaving a trail of blood in their wake. No other words were passed from their lips as they executed their task. They reached the end of the hall and began the ascent to the first floor. Ward's head hit against each step with a soft thunk. Thunk, thunk, thunk. House was silent in all other regards. Two doors sat next to each other. Both were shut tight. As the two women reached the top of the stairwell, the maid pushed open the door to the master bedroom and entered. The room was spacious and clean, with the fresh bedding left by the maid just the same morning. On the wall above the bed, newly painted a family picture. Two struggled and finally lifted the man into the bed. The face was struck in a terrified expression. Clothes were ruined. You'll protect Amelie, right? I'll do anything you desire. Then, let's begin. Lightning struck somewhere in the distance, lighting up the otherwise darkened room and showing many things that should have been left unseen. Maid removed her shoes and crawled into the sheets beside the corpse. The lady dipped her fingers into the Lord's wound and drew a line of blood around the bed. She spoke softly to no one in particular, chanting the words that should never be chanted. When she was done, she stepped over the threshold and approached the maid. Never let anyone hurt her. Protect her no matter what. I will, my lady. Thank you, Lalika. Never truly understand how much your actions mean to me. Lady leaned forward and left a soft kiss against the maid's lips. It was brief and gentle, something the two had wished to share for longer than either would admit. The lady pulled away, maid drew her knife, still smudged with blood, and brought it to her veins. Goodbye, Lalika. Goodbye, my lady. Maid bled out slowly, painfully slowly. Lady gasped for air and clawed at her neck. Everything in her manner became still. Everything apart from a young lady named Amelie, sat in bed upright, with a deep dread in the pit of her stomach. Another young lady named Lalika stood over two corpses laying beside each other in bed. Young lady named Lalika stared at the maid in the bed. Her own face, her own blood seeping through the bed. Yet here she stood. She looked at herself in the mirror and saw a different person entirely. She was no longer the maid. She was Lalika. Voice was softer, hair longer. It worked. When she turned back towards the bed, Lalika froze. Both of the bodies were gone. In their place, two skeletons. How long has it been? Walked towards the door and found it locked. Digging through the tattered clothes of the long dead maid, she retrieved the key and opened it. The door beside the master bedroom sat ajar, just enough for Lalika to peer in. Amelie sat on the end of the bed, staring at herself in a small handheld mirror while brushing her hair. She hummed a quiet tune, but froze as her eyes met Lalika's. Who are you? I am Lalika. Lalika, but... Mother told me that you had a maid named Lalika. What a coincidence. What are you doing here? How long has your mother been gone? My mother? I saw her... She frowned and clutched her head, as she couldn't quite remember. I saw her just this morning. I see. Parents have left to be cured of the plague. They have asked me to stay here with you until they can return. Really? A cure truly exists? That's right, so until then, how about we be friends? Amelie's face lit up and their eternal friendship began. How many years had passed since that day? Neither could tell. Time seemed to stand still within that manor, out in a field in the middle of nowhere. That's the way Lalika wished it to stay. Lalika, the letter has arrived. What? Blood ran cold as Amelie stared at the envelope in her hands. When was the last time we had a letter? How exciting! Perhaps his mother, writing that she will return soon. Perhaps so. Oh? Seems to be addressed to someone else entirely. Perhaps it was brought here by mistake. Then we had best send it back. Give it to me and I'll have it returned. A peek wouldn't hurt, don't you think? Lalika watched as the first crack formed in her fragile world. I'll dispose of it immediately. Give it to me. But it was too late. The letter inside had already been let loose, and Mia's eyes had already taken in the words left for someone else. Sophia. Lalika, I think I will write back. Let her know that I received the letter by mistake. That isn't a need. Please? Just one letter. Thank you, Lalika. How many letters had arrived at their door since then? How many times had Amelie spoken excitedly about Sophia to her? Sophia. It's always Sophia. Sophia is the crack in this fragile reality. Sophia. I have to get rid of Sophia. Lalika? Lalika's eyes opened with a jolt. I'm sorry, I'm a little tired. What did you say? Sophia, she says she's coming to visit. Another crack formed from the last, sprawled across the reality, threatening to shatter at any moment. Amelie, I don't think that's a good idea. The plague. She says that it's safe enough to travel now in her letter. Perhaps mother and father will return soon too. Lalika forced a smile. But we don't need anyone else here. We have each other. Of course, you're my dear friend, Lalika, but Sophia and I have been writing to each other for... She shook her head as if chasing off the beginnings of a headache. A long time. Anyway, I'm really excited to finally meet her. Won't you be excited for me too? We can all be friends. Right, friends. I'm sure we'll all be best friends. For an amount of time that neither Lalika or Amelie could truly comprehend, the house was suddenly buzzing with life. Amelie's footsteps were light and her days filled with excitement as she waited the arrival of Sophia. Finally, to Lalika's dismay, the day came. Pendulum clock on the wall swung back and forth, ticking down the time. Lalika stared at it, wishing that it would slow down even further. 10 minutes, then 20, then an hour passed as the two stood by the door, waiting for a knock. She seems to be late. And yet we kind of already read through this with Amelie's route. With her face hidden from Amelie, Lalika scowled. A knock sounded at the door, instantly halting the conversation. Amelie rose from her place and took a steady step forward before Lalika raised her hand to her. Allow me. Allow me to see if she should truly be allowed to enter. door groaned as it slowly swung open and revealed the young woman who knocked at the door. She was drenched from head to toe. Lika stared at her. Light hair and eyes, she looked almost like a kitten. Instantly, Lika's dislike for the woman grew. Lika stepped to one side just in time for Sophia to bounce through the door, wrapped her arms around Amelie. Blood boiled. He watched as the clothes she had carefully handmade became drenched by someone unworthy, someone that didn't deserve to even look at Amelie. Amelie's arms wrapped around Sophia in return. Lika turned away. A cool anger running over her features. Lika shut the door. Lika stood to the side, arms crossed lightly over her chest. Long hair reached down nearly to the wooden floor. Amelie side-eyed Lika upon hearing her tone, but Lika simply looked away. Amelie disappeared down the hallway, leaving Lika alone with Sophia. Has no one told you it's rude to poke around someone else's house? Sophia walked straight past Lika without even a notion of responding. Hello? You can't see me. Sophia walked towards the settee and reached for a newspaper. Oh, it even remembered me, what choice I made in Sophia's route. Don't let her touch it. Don't let her touch anything. She'll break it all. She'll undo everything. She wants to hurt Amelie. She can't find out the truth. The news shook loudly in the wind. A flick of her small wrist. Lika allowed the door to fly open, causing Sophia to whip around in surprise. So windy. Lika locked in on the object that Sophia had been reaching for. He rushed forward and took hold of it, then quickly hid it behind a cabinet as Sophia reached to close the door. Amelie? Sophia spun around but looked straight through Lika. And then yet we read through all this again. Lika watched as Sophia dried herself with a towel. Our towel. Not for her. Can't be a next time. Sophia and Amelie walked side by side, close enough that their shoulders almost touched. Lika stared at the place where they almost connected, seething with a quiet rage. Yeah, I said shut up and your voice disgusts me. Yeah, she definitely does not like Sophia too much. Where's the poisoning Amelie? Lies, you're lying. She's not lying, she just doesn't want Amelie to know the truth about what's happening on the outside world and essentially what happened to her parents. Sophia slipped through a doorway and disappeared. Emily smiled widely while Lika just stared ahead blankly. Ooh, sever her fate. Always having fun word together, Emily. Okay, let's sever her fate, I guess. See, are you jealous? Just as much, indeed. Come along, Lika, let us prepare tea. Amelie, I have something to say to you. You're my very best friend, did you know that? I feel the same towards you, Lika. As such, I feel the need to be truthful with you. You appreciate the truth, don't you? Of course, I trust your judgment very much. Is something the matter? We don't have much of a choice. We gotta lie, lie, or lie. Just which one do we choose? That one. Mother contacted me. She believes they'll be able to return shortly. Oh, Lika, this is wonderful news. Indeed, she was very excited for me to pass on a message to you, but... keep lying. Oh, she wasn't pleased to hear that you had someone visiting without her permission. Oh. Well, she would be delighted that I had invited a friend. Your entire existence is a lie. Of course, I pleaded with her that Sophia was a dear friend, but she wouldn't listen. I see. Did she say when she would return? No, but it seems to be soon. Now send Sophia away like normal tomorrow. I can't exactly force her out onto the storm, can I? Why not? Lika. Naturally, I am only teasing. Of course, it wouldn't be right to send her away at a time like this. Glad to hear that we've come to an agreement. Pleased I am to know that Mother will return soon. Let's go prepare tea, shall we? Lika's smile at the moment seemed to hide behind it an intent much deeper than Amelie realized. Uh-oh. What was she planning? Walls had eyes. Oh, I didn't really need to see the eyes. No thank you. Can we just swat them away like flies? Eyes that tracked Lika's every move. Followed her as she made careful, deliberate steps towards the sitting room. Instead, the eyes bulging, judging, had no mouth in which to scream, but Lika could still hear their words. We all sacrificed ourselves for you. Hope, our only hope. Amelie, protect Amelie. Prove your worth, prove your love. Amelie. 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 Under her feet, shattered glass pierced through her shoes, cutting her feet. She could feel the blood ooze out, pooling. It was warm, comforting. Looked up to find where the glass had come from. Then she noticed the cracks once again. Along every wall, every floorboard, even through the air. All was fragmented. It was already broken. Not beyond repair. It's not. My lady, I will fix this still. You can rest. Please rest. I will take care of everything. Anything and everything for you. She blinked. The world reverted to the way it should. Glass that lined the floor was gone. Ice that followed from the walls gone. Cracks that had begun to wrap themselves around Lika's ankles had disappeared too. She stood in front of the sitting room's door, which sat lightly ajar. Inside, Lika could see Sophia staring out the large window. Her back stayed turned as Lika entered the room. Of course, it wouldn't have been possible for Sophia to turn and look at her, but Lika still found herself taking careful, quiet steps. Windows shook past the dark, thick curtains. You who had attempted to defy your fate, why don't we see how long this little game lasts? Why don't we test those whose love is stronger? Swear my love is unwavering. Infatuation, my yearning, my desire. You could never even wish to match it. Lika pulled out a chair roughly, dragging the legs across the floor. Yet you dare to challenge me. You dare to test my love. Amelie? Was that you? Amelie? Sophia took careful steps towards the chair, resting her hand against it. Or Lika. You're nothing. Sophia sat down in the chair that was offered to her, Lika circled around as if a cat after its prey. But her steps paused as she heard something strange. Footsteps from above. Master bedroom? In front of her very eyes, Lika watched the scene unfold. Scene that made her blood run cold and her body freeze in place. Oh, so this wasn't Lilika's doing. Huh. Interesting. My lady. Lady of the house stood beside Lilika. Where before the two had stood eye to eye, now the lady stood taller than Lilika by at least a head. My lady, what are you doing here? Lady removed her shoes and stepped onto the table. Did you come to punish me? Are you angry? I promise I'll remove the plague that had entered our home. I swear it. Upon my dying love. Lady did not respond. Instead, she reached up and took hold of the noose. Rope wrapped around her neck, exactly where the necklace that the maid had gifted the lady should have rested. Join me. Eyes locked on to Sophia's. Hand was outstretched, waiting to be taken. Why won't you look at me, my lady? Are you truly so angry? Angry enough to despise me? For but a moment, as Sophia's outstretched hand came closer and closer, Lady's eyes turned slowly towards Lilika, carried with it a message that only Lilika could decipher. Lilika's body shook, trembled and trembled, till she could bear it no more. She ran out of the room as fast as her legs would carry her. Holly still had eyes. They weren't fast enough to follow Lilika. Horribles soon made a quicksand, threatened to suck her up, and bury her deep within the house. Her feet felt heavy and leaden. Every step was as painful as that brief glance. She raced through the hall and up a flight of stairs, past a stained glass window which let a myriad of colours over the carpeted steps, and past the doors that led to the master bedroom and Amelie's room. Closer, closer, till she arrived at a bookcase, pushed it to the side and into the hidden room. Of course, this mansion wouldn't be without hidden rooms, right? The room behind the bookcase was small, not a single window faced outward, thus the room was near pitch black. Great, we got the music box starting up again. Each wall was plastered with handwritten letters. Handwritten letters clearly for Lilika alone. Eyes frantic, finally started to calm as she took in the words. Her words. Words left to her, for her. Only for her. Lilika's eyes settled on a particular letter. Okay, what do we choose? Let's look to the right. Spent the past week studying. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy it, but everyone needs a break, you know. Yeah, dear Amelie, crossed out, and then Lilika. Yeah, on my desk I have a little cactus in a pot. To be honest, a cactus wasn't my first choice. I've killed every other plant I've ever owned. Anyway, it bloomed. There's one beautiful flower coming out of it. I couldn't be happier. So that makes studying easier. I think your environment makes a big difference. How about you? Do you have any plants? I'm looking forward to hearing about it next time. Yours, Sophia. She crossed it out and to Marion. So yeah, this was a letter that Sophia sent to Amelie, but she made it out to herself for Marion. Oh, we can continue reading. Okay, look to the left then. Dear Lalika, how wonderful to hear that you're doing well. I've been busy this week, but most of it's boring, so I won't bog you down with the details. But do you know what happened just yesterday? Oh, of course you don't. You weren't there. I was walking home when I found an abandoned kitten. Someone left it in a box on the side of the road. How could anyone do that? Anyway, I took her home. Named her Abby, but crossed out Lily after you. It's a little embarrassing writing out like that. I hope you don't mind. Yours, Marion. Look ahead. Today was tough. I tried my hardest, but I still failed. Don't you think life is unfair sometimes? I wish trying hard enough was all it took to succeed. Sorry I'm whining, aren't I? Came out of my interview and it was raining. Thought just my luck, but something interesting happened. I remember in the distance peeked out from behind the grey clouds. Reminded me of you. Then I felt a little better. Hope we meet soon. Yours, Marion. She ripped the letter from the wall and clutched it to her chest, collapsing to her knees. She couldn't hate me. She couldn't. She adores me, like I adore her. She entrusted her everything to me. Everything. Her everything. Amelie. Letter dropped from her fingers that were nearly cold or warm. Yeah, Lika is clearly a little bit delusional, especially after losing the woman of dreams and life. Want me to get rid of that disease, don't you? Won't accept me until I protect Amelie. Is that right, my lady? I'd do anything you ask, so that's all I have to do, and I will do it. I'll keep Amelie safe forever. Luca stood from the ground and dusted off her skirt. Face that had previously contorted in distress had finally calmed. A smile gently crept onto her face. I love you, my lady, and for you, I'll love Amelie too. She liked the sconces too. Where did I put those matches? Right here. Is it as creepy as ever? Study. She wants to leave the house. No, she can't leave. She can't go anywhere. She belongs here. She was entrusted to me. Lone Lika stared at the bathroom door, which was shut tight. I know she could hear the water running. She could picture Sophia's body, slowly shedding its layers of clothes, before she stepped into the hot water. That meant she was enough to force her hand. Uh-oh. What is she about to do? Running water sloshed into the steel-lined wooden tub. State-of-the-art system. No one else in the country owned anything like it. Maybe back in those times, but nowadays it absolutely is in pretty much every home, so. How many years ago was that? How long had it been? Sophia leaned over the sink, bone-white knuckles grasping either side of it. Back was turned to Lalika. If she wanted, she could stab her in the back and be over with it. No. I need to keep Amelie's trust. She needs to leave, go somewhere she'll never be found, or do it herself. Sophia lifted her face to the mirror, then froze. Eyes bore into it, as if she was seeing something she shouldn't. Lalika stared back, unmoving. Leave. Leave already. You. One step at a time, taking eye contact through the mirror, Lika cut closer and closer until the two were nearly touching. Why do you want to take Amelie away? Can't you see that she loves me? Me, not you. Your words are poisoning this household. If you don't leave, I'll kill you. I have no choice. I'll just kill you. Who are you? He looked around, but eyes didn't focus on any spot in particular. To her, Lalika was gone. Oh, you had to sever her fate. Lalika walked towards an open cabinet and pulled something out. Metal the razor glinted. Lalika raised it up and she moved to stand over the bath. They used the metal cut into her arm. Drops of blood fell into the water, leaving tiny splashes where they connected. Blood still runs in my veins after all. Peter rushed past Lalika, desperate to turn off the overflowing water, before she froze once again. The water was a deep, dark red. Slender fingers dipped into the liquid as if she were entranced. One layer at a time, she stripped bare, her expression hollow and lifeless. Lalika watched as her naked body stepped into the crimson water. Why not just end it here? You're scared, aren't you? Just sink down. Accept your fate. Accept it. You can hear me now, can't you? Why not just end it? You're scared. You're so terrified. You just came here to see your friend and look at what's happened to you. Amelie. Yes, Amelie. Amelie, where did you go? Where are you, Amelie? I want to see you. Shut up. You don't deserve to speak her name. You don't deserve to be in her presence. Why don't you just give up? Just sink deep into the abyss. Isn't it inviting? Sink. Right. I should. Isn't the water so warm and inviting? That's right. Just sink down into it. Then you'll finally be able to rest. Amelie. You. Knock came from the door. Because one eyes went from the door to the young woman in the bar, then back again. Excuse me, I'm coming in. Lalika ducked behind the folding screen just in time to hear the door open. Sorry, I knocked, but I didn't hear a reply. I brought you a towel. She didn't wait any longer. As Amelie stepped into the room to set down the towel, Lalika quickly dashed out into the hall. Before Lalika had a chance to even catch her breath, the bathroom door opened once again. Amelie stepped out with flushed cheeks. Did you tell her that we must depart? Or she must depart? No, we already read through all this. No, she must leave now, tonight, no longer. As you wish. That woman, that siren, look what she does to Amelie. On the other side of the door, Sophia's voice came in return. Okay, thanks, Amelie. Guest bedroom was freshly clean, with new linen on the bed and a little lamp beside it. Fortunately, Lalika had prepared the room well in advance. More cracks. By now, a dozen cracks stemmed from a dozen other cracks, filling the entirety of Lalika's world. At any moment, even a breeze would make everything collapse. Lalika crossed her arms over her chest, anger already rising in her chest. We read through this conversation before, so I'm just mostly skipping past it. Poison dripped from her voice as Lalika left the guest room behind. house had a heart. Her heart was beating to the same rhythm as Lalika's. It was frenzied, on the verge of losing control. It echoed through her head, through the hall, through to every corner of the building. Like Morse code, it was as if the house itself was telling her to do something. Get rid of her. Cut out the disease. Protect Amelie. She bit her thumb, pacing back and forth. Amelie will be upset, but Amelie doesn't need anyone else. She has me. She won't be upset for long, and she'll forget. That's right, she'll forget. Breath hitched in her throat. But what do I do? What do I do? She just won't die. Lady, what am I supposed to do? That moment, Lika put her ear to Amelie's door, listening intently. How about coming away with me for a while? Away? Outside the house? It's okay now, you'll be okay. But yeah. Lika's hands balled into fists at her side. You think you can take her away from me? Lika's balled fist slammed against the door. Each one set of pain shooting up her arm, all the way to her shoulder. Inside the voices went quiet. Destroy her fate. She doesn't belong to you. Alika? Hiding Alika snapped out of her daze. At some point, Amelie had left the guest bedroom and was standing a short distance away from her, looking worried. Suddenly she took a deep breath and composed herself. Her heart was still beating as loud as a drum. The cracks that seemed to be centered on Amelie were still spreading at an increasing rate. It's late. You should retire to your bedroom. The hallway was darkened, with only a few sconces and candles lit along the way, and Alika relished in it. On a night like this, long ago in the past, she had sealed her fate along with Amelie's, and tonight she would seal the fate of yet another person. 2 rows up the grand staircase, side by side, moonlight drifted in through the stained glass window. It seemed to be the only place free from those cracks, and if she squinted she could almost see it, almost hear it. That head hitting each step with a loud thunk. His eyes would never open again to look up upon a woman with scorn. It had never been raised to leave a mark on pristine skin. Sound filled her with joy. The thought of repenting that fateful night left her footsteps light with excitement. Okay, Ooh, that's not good. But yeah, we read through this conversation before. Lika, who was seated on the edge of Amelie's bed, stood with unsteady feet. Standing in the doorway, she looked back at Amelie. Lika stepped out of the bedroom, shutting the door softly behind her. The hall was still dark, with only a few candles that light her descent. It was quiet. Everything was asleep. Eyes that followed Lika wherever she went were closed. Voices that crept up from between the floorboards were silent. Floorboards, I should say. Somehow they only made Lika more uncomfortable. But that didn't matter. Not now. She knew where she was going and what she must do. She was closer and closer to that door. A door that held behind a sickness named Sophia. It was closed tight. Lika raised her hand, almost as if to knock, but instead pushed it open and entered. Just as the hallway was dark, so was the guest bedroom. The lantern had been blown out only a short while ago. No sound came from the bed. All was still. Lika crept closer and closer, till she stood over the bed like a shadow. The one underneath her kept her eyes shut tight. Face was calm and serene. Lika couldn't help but smile as her hands wrapped around her fragile, pale neck. Fingers dug into Sophia's flesh, so soft and easily bruised. Still, she didn't even shift. For some reason that made Lika even more furious. But as the young woman named Sophia lay as still as a statue, her mind wandered back to another that had once done the same in this very house. A young woman who had left Amelie in Lika's care, who had only wanted the best for her daughter, and only wanted her to be happy. The problem is she'll leave. That's the problem, isn't it, my lady? Cold fingers slowly unwound from Sophia's throat. That she'll leave and take Amelie away. If she stays, then won't Amelie be happy? She'll be so happy. Always. Forever. Then maybe you can. Lika withdrew from the room in a rush, her feet carrying her faster than they ever had before. Through the hall, up the stairs, and into Amelie's bedroom once again. Bed was warm and inviting. Lika enveloped her in that heat, wrapping her arms around Amelie tightly. Lika? Do you want Sophia to stay here forever? What? She'll leave if we don't do anything about it. She'll leave and you'll never hear from her again. That's not true, Lalika. She wouldn't do that. That Amelie rubbed her eyes and sat up. Amelie, not wasting a single moment, walked towards her door and peered down. Here the moon was shining through the stained glass just right, illuminating the hallway below. Distant, a shadow could be seen moving. Lika smiled. See? Lika picked up a toy doll that sat on Amelie's bed. A relic from the past. Straw-colored hair almost seemed to stand on end. Don't you want to keep her here? Did you want her to be like this doll? Or a special doll who would never leave you? Yeah. Okay, go down the hall to my room, behind that bookcase. Wait for me. Amelie's eyes had glazed over, as if she wasn't truly there. She stood from the bed and picked up a small blank case that rested on a nightstand, before leaving the room. It was long afterwards that Lika followed in her footsteps, just in time to see Sophia ascending the staircase. She walked straight past Lika, who was smiling happily, and approached Amelie's door. She knocked at the door and fell open with a groan. Amelie? Are you in here? Amelie's waiting for you. Somewhere hidden in the darkness, a fragile melody filled the air. Almost instantly, Sophia turned towards the sound and began to follow. Lika sped up and off to walk beside her. Isn't this great? You like Amelie, don't you? Don't you want to make her happy? She'd be excited for you to stay forever. So why don't we help her to be happy forever? She offered no answer. They entered the room together. The center of the room, surrounded by candles, Amelie sat, her skirt fanned down around her. Spread out over the floor were piles of letters. Upon closer inspection, each was filled with words that had been crossed out, signed with yours, Marion. Amelie? Amelie, are you awake? Eyes were shut tight, yet hands moved enough to play the sorrowful tune. Please listen to me, Amelie. She isn't... I'm not what? Going to leave her, aren't you? Lika shut the door, dragging the heavy lock across. Sophia rushed backwards and tried the handle to no avail. Amelie's eyes were finally open. In place of the usual golden eyes was a glare of deep red. already kind of read this in Sophia's last route. One at a time, Lika blew out the candles in the room. The room was plunged into darkness. Amelie fell forward, her body exhausted. Nice to meet you, Sophia. I'm sure we're going to have a fun time living together. Since you will be staying with us after all, right? Okay, this is after that, and we definitely haven't read any of this before. Lika, could you pass the sugar? Of course, Amelie. The smile, Lika pushed the sugar across the table towards Amelie, picked up a teaspoon and dropped a single cube of sugar into her tea. Would you like one, Lika? No, thank you. Just being around you makes my tea sweet enough. And you, Sophia? You're awfully quiet today. I'll just give you one. Next to Amelie sat Sophia, perfect and pristine, to Amelie's eyes at least. But Lika saw the truth. Flesh convulsed and pulsated, eyes bulged from what was once her head. Shape of Sophia was gone. In its place was a mound of a person who used to be. Lika smiled. You know she likes sugar in her tea. There's no need to ask. You're right. I'm so happy. Sophia, Lika, you're both so important to me. Thank you for being by my side. Anytime. Isn't that right, Sophia? Now on, it's just the three of us. Yay! Great! That was just one of Lika's ending. Still gotta find two more of hers. Which I feel like I'm gonna absolutely dread. Okay, so I just quickly played through again and didn't select any of the special options that showed up on the screen. Now we got two different options here. Either allow her fate or deny her fate. Okay, well, let's allow her fate, I guess. She doesn't belong to you. Okay, we've already read through all this, so we'll skip past. Ooh, but this is different. As her hand rested against the door, a sudden pang went through Lika's cold heart. She's important to you, isn't she? Of course. Words have always been something that brightened my day. Even if she were to leave? Leave? Well, I believe she'll leave eventually, Lika. There's no choice, really. All I can do is hope she'll visit again. I see. Good night, Amelie. Sleep well. Whatever Amelie said in reply was lost in the darkness as Lika stepped out of the bedroom. As she left the room, she noticed it. Dark shadows stalking through the night, slowly creeping through the hall. Lika frowned. My lady, you must forgive me. I've rarely seen Amelie so happy. But she cannot stay. No, she must leave immediately, and I will make her. Stood on the grand staircase, outlined in the moon's glow. Sophia, can't see me, can't hear me, but you can sense me, can you not? The shadow paused, her eyes going up up to the staircase. There she saw a shadow walk strangely across the carpeted steps. You will leave this place immediately, and you will never come back. Lika? One girl pushed a vase from the step and it crashed to the ground below, smashing into tiny pieces. Sophia jumped in response, shiver running down her spine. I won't warn you again. Leave. Slowly and unsteadily, Sophia crept up the stairs, till her face was almost close enough to touch Lilika's. Is that you, Lilika? A small motion, Lika dropped something from her sleeve, and clattered to the ground at Sophia's feet. Gripped at her shirt even more tightly. This is your last chance. Don't care whether you live or die. This is only a favour to Amelie. As if her nerves had finally got the best of her, Sophia turned on the spot and ran, back down the staircase and into the dark hall. Lika followed behind her, slamming doors and knocking things to the ground. Sophia, too scared to even turn around, ran as fast as her legs could take her until she reached the front door. Instead of being locked and closed up tightly, it sat open, as if waiting for her to leave. She didn't waste a single second more. She was gone. She's gone. Gone. I did it. Amelie, I did it. You did what? Did you... This isn't what it looks like, Amelie. Please, listen to me. Did you force her to leave? No way. I'm going after her. Lika jumped in front of the door, arms spread wide. You can't. Why? It's unsafe to do so. You belong here with me, together. I had enough of this, and that being unsafe. Lika, either you move to the side or any friendship I thought we had is gone. Lika wavered. Arms which had held such conviction began to droop. I've always done what's best for you, have I not? All this time, have I not remained at your side? Please trust me. I only did what I had to. So this is what you decided. Don't come near me again. Neil turned her back on a blonde-haired woman who dropped to her knees as she watched her leave. Amelie. Good night, Lika. Darkness filled every inch of her brain. A voice screamed out from inside of her, mocking her. This isn't right. My lady, this isn't right. Didn't I do the right thing? Let her go. I did her a favour, but Amelie's upset. The lady offered her no answer. Is this punishment for not doing as she wished? Sophia should have died. Should have died. But now she is alive, and Amelie is angry. In a dark room, all alone, Lika clutched onto something. Something she kept hidden in a closet, away from prying eyes. Held it tighter. The green dress fell apart at a touch. Can't she make this all better again? Can't we make her forget? Forehead fell down and rested against the other person's shoulder. They remained silent, as they had been for many long years. Sorry, I'll make it all better. We can make her forget, can't we? Can't we start again? Just like before, we can start again. Lika stood, placing the skeleton of her lady carefully back in the closet. Yeah, guess she has been keeping skeletons in her closet, and has been taking that saying quite literally. Keep waiting for me, I promise. I'll make everything right again. Let's start again, Amelie. You and me, forever. I also wonder who was the other skeleton then upstairs, because there were two of them, right? So here's the third one. Oh, right. It's Lika's, because I forgot that she also died. Lika walked into the room, holding a tray carefully in her hands. On it sat a teapot and 2 cups. Amelie, I have brought you tea. Excellent, it smells delicious. Amelie smiled brightly, filling Lika with happiness in return. Lika, may I ask you something? Of course. Found this letter by the front door. Do you know where it came from? Amelie held out an envelope. The front was blank. How strange. Perhaps it was delivered here by accident. Lika took it from her and opened it. One was signed, yours always, Sophia. Yes, it seems to be for someone else. I'll mail this back, yes? Thank you, Lalika. I appreciate it. Finished with her tea, Amelie stood first and left the room. Lalika smiled. Under the table, she pulled out a stack of envelopes that seemed to match the one Amelie had given to her. And all at once, she threw them into the fireplace. Goodbye, Sophia. Well, that's one other ending done, I guess. Okay, let's try denying her fate this time. And we've already read through all this. Good night, Amelie. Tomorrow everything will be better, so sleep well. Lika stilled the resolve and stepped out of the bedroom. She first went back to the guest room and put her ear to the door. No sounds could be heard from behind it. Then she noticed something. Okay, that's kind of creepy that we can actually see it this time. Someone else walking down the hallway unsteadily. Lika followed closely behind. Though in the darkness, the other person was only a shadow, features obscured and hidden. Sound of her light steps on the old wooden floorboards mixed in with the rain that was still raging just outside those walls. Kitchen was by the stairwell. Alright, she's getting herself a glass of water. That's right, by the stairwell. But you aren't going to the kitchen, are you? Hand-painted portraits were lined up in rows on either side of the hall, hinted as if their eyes moved to follow Lika's every move. Fia stared up at the grand staircase. Seemed as if she were entranced with each and every step. They're waiting for you. Those two people, they're calling for you. Go on, go to them. Fia's unsteady hand reached for the banister. Her scent was slow and careful, eyes fixed on that door. That special door. That room, where the maid had met her end, and a most hated person rested beside her. That room, where she had made a promise to the person she loved. Lika needed only to reach into the kitchen to procure the item that was waiting for her. Had been waiting for her all this time, since Sophia had arrived. Sat there, or a knife with dark age stains over the blade and hilt. Long had it sat there festering, waiting. Desperate for more blood. Like a hunter stalking her prey, Lika followed behind Sophia, knife gripped tightly in her hand. Two stood side by side, staring at the door to the master bedroom. It was shut tight, as it had been for countless years. Sophia trembled. With a smile, Lika reached over to give her arm a squeeze. Go on. You want to know the truth, don't you? You can hear their voices. I'll allow you this much. With a careful motion, Sophia pushed the door open. All at once, countless memories came flooding back, of love, hope, of the future, and of death. Sophia disappeared into the dark room, green light being a candle that she carried in her hand. Family mice ran out from the room and down the stairs. Taste of freedom was oh so sweet for them. More quiet than the mice that had escaped, Lika followed Sophia into the room. Wax dripped from the burning candles onto the wooden floor. She trembled as she reached a shaky hand to the bed. And at the same moment, Lika swung the door closed behind them. The room plunged into darkness. But that darkness didn't matter to Lika. What to she, who knew this room like the back of her hand? Amelie, is that you? Amelie isn't here to save you. Fia's eyes searched the room to no avail. I'm sorry, came in here after you asked me not to. I'll just go, okay? Pale-haired woman fell back onto the bed before she had a moment to react. Yellowed bones of the lord of the manor, the maid rattled underneath her, flesh long deteriorated. Malika smiled. How long has it been since I last saw myself truly? What? Huh? Looks like we're finally meeting, Sophia. Leg on either side of her, Malika held Sophia down to the bed, still smiling. She tried to squirm, to escape, to run free. Eyes were filled with terror. You won't take her away from me. Sophia's screams became a muffled cry, while finally extinguishing fully. Finally. My lady, did you see? Are you watching? I saved her. I saved Amelie. Only when Malika tried to stand did she notice it. A aged bone poking out from her stomach. Dark liquid dropped out from around it. A slight frown, Malika pulled it free. Okay, it'll be okay. Malika closed her eyes. I'm just a little tired. I will just sleep for a bit. Eyes grew heavy. So heavy. So heavy that the only option would be to sleep at this very moment. How could you do that? Malika, why? Why? Why would you hurt Amelie like that? Why did you kill Amelie? Huh? Eyes open with a start, heart racing faster than it had ever raced before. Her room seemed to be spinning, and her head throbbing. Then she saw it. Lying on the bed, between the two skeletons was the body of a young woman. A young woman with long brown hair. Dress was stained red. Amelie? No, not that. That's not. Who did this? Who? Sophia? Amelie, wake up. Wake. She blinked. The young woman below her disappeared in her place. Sophia appeared. The room was still dark. Even a drop of sunlight peeked through the cupboard windows. A cool trick of the eyes. Stepped out from the master bedroom just as Amelie did the same, right next door. Good morning, Malika. I was just on my way to see if Sophia's awakened yet. Amelie? Sophia disappeared during the night. At least she went to the same place your parents went. What? That cannot be right. Don't run, Amelie. Amelie dashed down the hall and knocked quietly on the door to the guest bedroom. It fell open with no resistance. Inside, the bedding was disheveled and luggage was strewn about. Yeah, so this was the ending we saw of Amelie's route. Malika wrapped her thin arms around the young woman, gently patting her on the back. See, you shouldn't depend on anyone else. I'm here. I won't ever leave you. Amelie clutched at her back, tears already falling from her eyes. We'll be together forever. Oh, what the hell? When the Doki Doki Literature Club is going on? Why is the face all fuzzy? Amelie froze in Malika's arms before pulling back completely. What happened to your face? My face? Malika's hand went to her face instantly. Is something wrong? Amelie's expression darkened, her mouth shut firmly in a line. face. With a small mirror out of her pocket, Lalika finally saw it. Black void and nothingness where her face should have been. Turned and ran down the hall and up the stairs before Lalika could even call out after her. Void seemed to seep out from her very skin, oozing, leaking out from the wound at her stomach. Yeah, because in a final stab in the dark, I guess, from Sophia, she attempted to kill Lalika, and because of that, I guess it's undoing this spell or whatever it is. That disease-ridden hag. Amelie, wait. It's okay. I think it'll be... Lalika's hand that reached out towards Amelie fell to her side. At the top of the staircase, in this manner, in the middle of the field, far out in the countryside, Amelie stood in an open doorway. Doorway that hadn't been open in more years than she could truly imagine. Inside, she witnessed a sight she never should have. Her eyes hollow and her body petrified. So, Amelie, this isn't... Stay away from me. Long brown hair cascaded out around her as Amelie rushed into her bedroom, slamming the door behind her. Lalika rushed up the staircase, banging her fist against the locked door. Amelie, this is all a misunderstanding. She wanted to hurt you. I have saved you. Fell to her knees, her fist still pounding on the wooden door. A muffled sob came from within. Then, silence. Voice surrounded Lalika, falling from her wound and wrapping itself around her body. Curled into a ball. Sound of a chair hitting the ground inside the bedroom was the last sound Lalika heard before her eyes closed. It became one with the void. One with the void. Yeah. And none of these endings had a happy ending. It's always sort of depressing, but that was the final ending that we could get. No. Is this really okay? What about the future? Should you try again? Yes or no? Well, we gotta go with yes. The room was dark. Amelie had long gone to bed, leaving Sophia alone in her room. Ducked her head under the cover and pulled out her phone. Still dead. Her clutched it to her chest. What do I do? What exactly is going on here? Sophia's body stiffened up. Back was to the door, but mind screamed not to turn around. Footsteps crept closer. Closer and closer until... Stay away from me. Here through her bedding at the approaching person jumped to her feet, ready to run. The person she saw collapse to the ground was not the person she was expecting. Oh gosh, Amelie, I'm so sorry. He knelt down, quickly helping the brown-haired girl to her feet. It's quite alright. I didn't mean to scare you. I apologize. No, it's my fault. Too jumpy. I'm glad you're here. Really glad you're here. Sophia's arms draped over Amelie's shoulders. She pulled her in tight. Amelie froze for just a moment before she melted into the embrace. I'm here. But is everything alright? No, I don't think everything is alright. What could be the matter? Amelie, my phone died as soon as my cab approached your house. Do you see? Pulled out her phone, showing her the black screen. What exactly is that? My mobile? Anne picked it up curiously, turning it in her hands. You've never seen a phone? What is it used for? For texting, making calls, playing games, those kinds of things. Amazing. Amelie, what year is it? What year? Why do you ask? Please. 1665, of course. He took a step back from Amelie. What is it? Amelie, This makes no sense. Look at this house. Amelie, is 2021. What? Sophia, that's preposterous. Oh my god. Go back onto her bed. Leg's not able to hold her up any longer. Oh my god, Amelie, you're not joking. You're feeling unwell. Maybe you need to get some rest after all. Amelie, please listen to me. Out there, the world has changed. You have phones, cars, computers. Don't need a husband. Don't need permission to buy a house. You can go to school, get a job, do whatever you want. Now, I probably sound crazy to you right now, but please, I'm telling you the truth. You're trying to tell me that nearly 400 years have passed and I've been stuck here? How would that even be possible? I don't know. Emily, how long have we been running to each other? Well, I don't know. It's been 5 years. I need to find Lika. She knows what's going on here. No, wait. You can't ask Lika. Why not? I can't see Lika, Amelie. I haven't seen her once. But she's been here from the start. I've only seen you in this house. Amelie, something is going on within this house that kept you stuck here. I think she is the one that has done it to you. That can't be true. Why don't we find out together? How? Master bedroom. Nika was the one who said you couldn't enter, wasn't she? Please. Pia reached out her hand carefully. Emily stared at it, unsure, before deciding to take it. I don't understand what's going on, but I trust you. Let's go. The hallway was still dark, with no signs of Lika anywhere. She appears and tell me, okay? Okay. Hand in hand, the two walked quickly through the hall and up the staircase. There they stood in front of the master bedroom, side by side. Hands were sweaty. Now what's in here? I'll be by your side, okay? Emily offered no words, instead just squeezing Sophia's hand gently. At that, Sophia pushed the door open. Just like the rest of the house, the room was dark and quiet. Only the moon shining in from the dirty window guided the two in. It smelled musty, as if they were in a tomb, only just uncovered, not a bedroom. Got closer and closer to the bed, surrounded completely by the canopy, keeping whatever was inside hidden. Shaking hands, Sophia reached towards the light velvet. Once the truth came into view, Emily gasped and almost fell to her knees, but Sophia's hand kept her steady. I'm sorry, Emily, but they only left a few weeks ago. Look like they've been gone for a very long time. Emily, I know this is hard to believe. I find it just as hard to believe as you do. Please, we have to leave this house. Now, before Lilika finds us. She knew. I think that you've been bound to this house by her. You need to find a way to leave. Okay. Two only got halfway down the stairs where Emily grounded to a halt. Sophia turned to look at her, eyes wide in surprise, and you see that Emily's expression was one of immense fear. Hi, Lilika. We're totally not doing anything suspicious. What are you two doing out of bed? Lilika, So you went in there. She nodded upstairs. You lied to me, only to keep you happy. Happiness with lies as their foundation isn't true happiness. Why not? We've been perfectly happy here for longer than you even existed. You came along and I'm sorry, Emily. I'm so sorry. Alika burst into tears, wiping at her eyes with her sleeve in a desperate attempt to stop them from overflowing. Alika. Wait, Amelie, don't. I took a step forward towards Alika as if to comfort her. Please don't leave, Amelie. Can't we stay here together? Amelie, she's lying to you. She wants to keep you trapped here. Please. But, please. Amelie. Pierre pulled on Amelie's arm, forcing her to turn to face her. Amelie's eyes were filled with confusion. I know you two have been together for a long time. I know. No, I can't compete with that, but I want to give you the life you deserve. You deserve to be free, to live, to experience everything you missed out on. Not be stuck in here forever. The truth is, Her words were coming next were lost before they were ever spoken. Sophia leant forward and placed a gentle kiss against Amelie's lips. Cries from below extinguished in an instant as the liquor washed on in horror. But just for a moment, the rest of the world melted away and all that existed were the two of them. Amelie and Sophia. Amelie closed her eyes. The sensation was new and foreign, yet not unwanted. Butterflies were let loose in both of their stomachs. Where they connected, heat spread throughout their bodies. Then Sophia pulled away. Truth is, Amelie, I've liked you for a very long time. Even if you don't like me back, I want to help you. I want to help you live again. Amelie, don't listen to her. Okay. Sisa's smile came to just Sophia's lips. She had no time to dwell on the sudden kiss, nor her confusion that would usually make her feel so nervous she'd be sick. All she had time for was to escape. Eyes went down the hall when a ranged Lalika stood in their path. Windows were bolted down, unable to be opened. There was nowhere at all to escape. That is, except... Do you trust me? I do. He didn't need any more a confirmation. Amelie in hand, she turned and ran, and jumped. Glass shattered as the two girls hit it hard. They fell, surrounded by the shards, until they hit the ground below. Crunch. Moon shone from high above, shielded away by the storm that never seemed to end. Amelie, are you okay? Yes, I think so. He rushed to Amelie's side, quickly helping her to sit up. Side by side, they looked up at the remains of the stained glass window. Lika stood completely still. I can see her. I'm sorry, Lika, but... Lika shook her head, grasped her throat with her hand, and her lips moved, but no sound came out. She lost her voice. Going up, she looked back at Amelie, holding eye contact. The expression wasn't angry anymore. It was just sad. Lifted her hand and waved, a slow and small motion, before she crumpled to dust on the wind. It stopped. Lika. Seems it wasn't you bound to this house by her, but the other way around. What am I meant to do now? Amelie, you're free. You can do whatever you wish. Fear exhausted, once again wrapped her arms around Amelie, returned the gesture almost immediately. There they embraced under the new, now free moon. In this manner, in the middle of a field, far out in the countryside, a curse was broken. A young woman was freed. What her future held wasn't certain. After all, the future never is. But she made a decision on that fateful night. Trust in the future, to trust in herself. And more importantly, trust in Sophia. No matter what. Oh, and that's the end. Okay, that was a much more happier ending. But yeah, man, Amelie is gonna have a lot of new experiences and a lot of new things to learn in this new world. I was also worried that if she stepped outside, she might also crumple to dust, because I don't know how much of it. Because I was worried that time might finally catch up to her and her body might, you know, die, essentially, because she's about 400 years old now, so. And she would definitely set a new world record, that's for sure. But yeah, that was Amelie. Man, that was cool. I really liked that. Like, the story was very intriguing. We still got other things, but yeah, the art is amazing. And I still want Sophia's jumper. I want that. That's so pretty and so cool. It looks so cozy. But anyway, we got epilogue thing. Amelie, I'm back from my class. Here, come here. Is something the matter? No, look. Amelie held her phone screen up to Sophia. Just laughed in response. Got a 5-star character in that game you like. It's amazing. All I had to do was insert the numbers on that card she gave me. It truly is astounding. I will talk about it later. Yeah, she's got a lot to learn. Oh, what's this? Not sure. It was slipped under the door while you were out. Plain white envelope sat on the coffee table. Nothing on it identified who sent it, or who it was addressed to. A little concerned, Sophia opened it and pulled out a letter. But the words may have well been a different language, as she could not read them. Her eyes went straight to the name at the bottom of the page. Uh-oh. Yours, Lalika. Uh-oh. Lalika wasn't always gone. Uh-oh. We're not gonna get trapped in the apartment next, are we? God, I hope not. But yeah, that was Amelie. I guess we'll be ending it off on that little cliffhanger, but if you guys want to play this for yourself, link will be down in the description below, and yeah, we'll try not to get trapped in any more houses.